Hello coaches, welcome back to another Modern Soccer Coach Breakdown. This week we take a look at Ruben Amorim's training sessions, what we can potentially expect from him at Manchester United. Looking at his sessions at Sporting Lisbon, some takeaways, maybe some guesses on playing style. It's always a fun exercise. 3 exercises, as always. If you want the dimensions and the details of the organisation, you can get them for free on the Modern Soccer Coach website on the link below. Please like, please subscribe. And if you enjoy, please share it with your coaching friends. Here we go, Ruben Amorim. Okay, we always start these breakdowns with objectives. First things first, it's really difficult to assess how a coach will coach without seeing their whole session plan, their whole game models. But this breakdown is not about that. It's about looking at how they train, how they put their sessions together. I think there's always something really interesting when you're looking at a coach's sessions and doing some research online and seeing what you can find. That was definitely the case with Ruben Amorim. I think there's some really interesting things in session design. The 3 sessions we're going to look at, I believe, are about progressive possession sessions and quick combination play through the centre of the park. I'll talk a little bit at the end about what my takeaways are. Here we go, top 3. Okay, the first exercise is a 7v7 possession game. So you got 21 players split into 3 teams of 7. One team starts as the defensive team, which is the blue team in the middle. The 2 other teams, the green team and the red team, they're organised with a back 4 around the perimeter, and then 3 central midfielders on the inside. Now, the concept of the game is quite simple. It's about 4 pressing players can go out, and their team in possession are trying to probably get 5 passes and then transfer the ball across. But what's interesting is that shape around the perimeter and the 3 players. So you can see here, there's a tactical shape and there's also an underload inside. So rather than giving the midfielders, the 3 midfielders, the overload, he's giving them the underload. So it's really difficult, but they can use the outside players to complete the passes and then go across. And then, of course, the intensity and the tempo of the game is generated by the pressing team. As the ball switched, 4 new pressing players can come out and then reapply pressure on the ball, and then the game continues there. If the defensive team win the ball, they can score in the mini goals. So quick, short game. Second game is, again, simple concept, but really interesting setup. 4v2 transfer rondo. Again, you've got the overload and you're looking at getting the ball across. So there's ball progression is a constant theme in these exercises. In this one here, you've got 7 players organised into 3 pairs and you've got 1 neutral. Again, the neutral stays in the middle. 1 pair acts as the defending team. 1 pair's on the outside who can move up and down. And then 1 pair are target players, the green players. Neutral stays in the middle. Ball starts on one side. The 4v2 is created. Again, 5 passes transferred across. As the balls transfer across, the defensive team obviously has to shift, but also those wide players have to shift and support the ball as well. So again, the tempo and the energy is created from the ball transferring and the blue team constantly pressing. So these games are short, and then you're switching up the defensive players. So there's a little bit of variability in terms of roles and responsibilities. But again, I really like the directional nature of the game and the tempo of the game, and flows really well whenever the players are confident and clear in what they're doing. Before we start our third exercise, if you're looking to improve your tactical analysis and incorporate analysis and data into your coaching methodology, please check out our Modern Soccer Coach Tactical Analysis and Coaching course online, designed for coaches to connect the dots between analysis, data, and the game model design, and positional roles, scout and match reviews, data integration. We also cover pressing data, packing data, set piece analysis, match coding, game models, scouting frameworks. 11 modules total, designed by coaches and analysts for coaches and analysts. Register now, modernsoccercoach.com/analysis, and look forward to seeing you there. Okay, the third example, bigger spaces now. This is an 8v8 plus 2. The 2 are the goalkeepers on each end, so they're in little zones outside the pitch, and it's a possession game. Again, it's directional. Possession can use the goalkeepers if they want to go backwards, so they can obviously retain possession. It's not just about progression. and there's a counter press element as well. It's difficult when watching this here on YouTube. It's difficult to see how he's structuring his team in terms of what the bigger picture is for positions, because as the ball's transferred, if you're working positionally, the defenders become attackers and the attackers now almost start at a lower line. So maybe there's a little bit more freedom and flexibility. Maybe this is just a progression exercise with bigger spaces for possession to open it up. Or maybe it's more tactical in terms of the starting positions and the reference he's looking for. It's a little bit difficult to say in that. But again, what's interesting is the fact that there is an element of central progression, and there's also the directional component as well. The intensity, the tempo was definitely clear, even though it's bigger spaces. So consistent throughout all three exercises. So there we go, coaches. Always a fun exercise, taking a look at a coach's sessions, taking a look at the way they structure it, the way they set it up, and then maybe guessing how they're going to play in the Premier League. It's almost impossible to guess without, again, really understanding how he sets his team up, really understanding his coaching philosophy, his game model, and understanding what his assessment is of the environment that he's going into. Again, it's almost impossible. I'm not even going to guess what system he's going to play at Manchester United, but what I really, really enjoy looking at when I'm watching the videos and doing the research of his sessions, the coaching behaviours are really, really interesting. Always got the stopwatch, very, very active during the session. So sometimes running around from side to side to get information to players rather than stopping the session. The tempo is always there. Does that mean an up-tempo style of play at Manchester United? Potentially it does. Potentially it does. The quick combination play, the last game, the flexibility in terms of the rotations and the movement, I thought was really, really interesting. Again, do you take that into flexibility and rotation in a system? I think it's not structure versus freedom. I think when you're at the level that these guys are at, and of course he has to work out what he's got at Manchester United and get results in the short term as well. So it's really, really difficult. But looking at the sessions, I think there's a lot of takeaways. I really, really enjoy the first one, the 7v7 v7 exercise, because it's got that back four and that three can move around, and again there's a little bit of flexibility in that there as well. I haven't seen that set up before. Really competitive exercise. I know the 3-team transition game, everyone plays it on match day -1, but that's a nice little twist with a tactical layer in it. For Portuguese coaches, we've got a podcast coming up with another Portuguese coach coming up next week. Again, we talk about this tactical periodization, the impact that tactical periodization has had on the Portuguese coaching community. Ruben Amorim has obviously been impacted by that there, looks like. So having a tactical concept, having a tactical framework in every single exercise seems to be quite consistent with what I've seen as well. So again, just a fun exercise to put that together. And if you want the dimensions and the organization for free, you can get them on the link below, modernsoccercoach.com. Please, before you go, if you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please make sure you subscribe. Don't miss the interview on Monday. It's a big one. Thanks so much for all your support. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.